I don't know if this is my plan. My plan is that I have to get this game streamed today. There's just no other day I can stream this for the rest of the week. And right now my plan is that I'm going to have Alan Wake stream and finish the game today, at least up until the DLC missions. And my plan is to either go into Uncharted 4 next week on Twitch, or continue with the Alan Wake DLC. Now, right now I'm thinking I probably am going to go to Uncharted 4. Because of major news that's been happening and a couple of other reasons. So I'm going to treat this particular stream as if this stream is going to work, although if it cuts out again, I'm probably going to wait another 30 minutes before I start streaming again. Hopefully it won't cut out again. But I just don't know what's going to happen. It's just randomly cutting out. But that's neither here nor there for right now. What we're going to do is, this is Chapter 6. This is the final chapter of Alan Wake. It's not my favorite chapter. You guys know Chapter 4 is my favorite chapter. But this is still a great chapter to check out and a great chapter to play. This is the ending. This is the big deal. This is a huge deal. And I'm really excited to finally get a chance to play it. And I kind of want to get started before the system cuts out again. So what do you say we go back and we resume, pick up right where we left off for Chapter 6 for Alan Wake. There's not much behind the scenes. Like I said, I want to avoid spoilers.
Daylight, surrounded by the beauty of the Pacific Northwest landscape, it was hard not to let doubt creep in one last time. I could still chalk everything up to a dream, a delusion. I had enough imagination to make up something like this, having been in the cabin all this time, trapped in a story inside my head, gone mad from grief over Alice's death like Hartman had claimed. There would be no way of knowing. I told myself it didn't really matter. My course was set.
Okay, a couple of comments I want to make right here. Isn't this just freaking beautiful? Like, seriously, this is just absolutely freaking beautiful. Second thing, Verizon sign. Nice, huh? All right, let's get started. A little bit of GTA action right here. Really nice way to kick off. I gotta say, Chapter 6 really does kick off well, so I don't want to spoil too much about this chapter. This chapter has a lot of behind-the-scenes information, stuff like that, but it doesn't really have too much behind-the-scenes information, but we're gonna play it, certainly. Now, as for my schedule for what I'm gonna do later on, Energizer posters. Here's a quick question for people who live on the who live in the Pacific Northwest in this type of area. Are visibility areas like this common? If they are, freaking awesome. Because I would freaking love to just drive around the mountains of the Pacific Northwest and see this kind of stuff. So, definitely would love to see this. And here's a sign we got over here for the Majestic Motel. It's just down the road. This is a place that they referenced in Chapter 2. They said it's known for its roaches. Just wanted to get that out there. So we're finally going to be able to check out this place, and hopefully it doesn't have a roach infestation when we get there, but I just want to check it out myself. But again, I've never visited this far north in the Pacific Northwest, so I really can't comment. That means 97.6 KBF FM, the voice of Bright Falls. I don't know, to me, this area right here kind of gets the closest to what I think the open world, or what it would have been like, what the game would have been like if open world was something that we could visit. But as you can see here, there's a lot of popping and things like that. Okay, I guess I'm not going this way. I'd like to go this way, but I guess I can't. I guess I'm gonna have to go off-road. There's a barn. Can I check out the barn? I don't think I can go into the barn. The barn looks pretty close to me. Maybe I can get around this if I get out of the car? Let's see what we got here.
The darkness had touched me. There was a link between us, always would be. I could feel its presence again, getting closer.
Uh-oh.
I will kill your wife.
Not much of a lantern I got right now, but this is probably the second best lantern in the game. Night, darkness, daytime, everything is basically just up for grabs, it seems. That light might be a good safe haven, so let's see if we can check it out. Maybe not. Those of you guys who might have seen the one of the opening cutscenes, you'll notice that some of these dashboards in the game use the Microsoft Sync service, which I don't even think exists anymore. It's very prominent in one of the cutscenes. I think this particular car has it pretty prominent. But the thing is that you know, I don't know about you guys, but I would play a game that was basically this. Oh wait, a game like this already exists. But I meant, like, if this was the entire gameplay of Alan Wake, that was kind of fun, actually. Just kind of driving around the Pacific Northwest. I think there's somebody coming up on the road. Is the Majestic still there? Yep. Is there anybody with him? I think somebody threw something at me. I don't see anybody over here. I want to take a quick stop at the Majestic really quick for you guys. There's a very good reason for it. You don't have to go into the Majestic. It's not. It's not storyline relevant. But there is one or two things in the Majestic that I want to check out and show you guys for Easter egg purposes. So let's go back, check out the Majestic really quick, see if there's any clues or anything useful in here. Now, I think there was a can, like one of those can thermoses or things like that. I'm sorry, can pyramids over in this area, but I don't remember exactly where it is. So yeah, we can investigate here. We don't have to, but we can investigate. And this is the Majestic. Now, this is where Agent Nightingale was staying.
Based on the signature in the motel register, Agent Nightingale had stayed here, in room number 2.
What do you say we check that area out? Now, this place is apparently known for its roaches, but it's not the worst looking place ever if they simply just picked up that, or took care of that roach problem. Computer's obsolete, but it's not the worst place ever. Bathroom. I think I've stayed in worse. I've stayed in better, but I think I've stayed in worse. And this is Agent Nightingale's room.
This had obviously been the room where Agent Nightingale had stayed when he hadn't been busy harassing me.
Okay. Of course, he has his pistol. Unfortunately, there's really not much for flavor text here. Like, you don't find any of his notes, or at the very least, let me rephrase this. You can't do anything with his notes. You can just see that this was his room. However, there is something that I want to point out. This vent. If you look at this vent, you can see that there's something up there. You can't access it in the game. And there's no direct reference to it. At least not in the game itself. However, those notes are basically there. Those are his notes. Those are Agent Nightingale's notes in there. He hid them in there. Anybody who... I don't know if I want to give this away, but I guess I would right now. You're probably wondering, well, is there any way that I can read his notes? Is there any way whatsoever that I can read his notes? And the answer is yes. According to the official canonical storyline, the guy that we met in the very beginning of the game and during Alan's dream, Clay Stewart, visits the Majestic Hotel about a year after the events of Alan Wake ends. stays in Agent Nightingale's room, knowing that that was where Agent Nightingale had stayed, and finds the notes. They are later published in his book, The Alan Wake Files, which is included with the collector's edition of the Xbox 360 version of the game. And there is your backwards trivia. There is your behind-the-scenes trivia for this chapter. Okay. I don't think we can visit the rest of the rooms, but I kind of want to just check for supplies over here. Since I'm here anyway, I might as well just check for supplies. And that's where that's where Clay Stewart kind of has his own theories about what Agent Nightingale is, because even Agent Nightingale never says in the game what his deal is. Never. It's never admitted. It's never said. Not to anybody what his deal is. All we know is that he's probably working on his own, and that he's drunk most of the time. After a while, nobody believes him, and that's basically all we know in the canon, at least for the game itself. However, Clay Stewart has his own opinions, especially after finding Agent Nightingale's notes. He kind of references his own ideas. He knows that Agent Nightingale had lost a partner. By the way, anybody who read Alan Wake Illuminated, which is the art book, the behind-the-scenes art book by Prima, knows that, like I said, Agent Nightingale was going to be a playable character, and that during the course of the events of what would have been his playable character section, Agent Nightingale there would have been references to Agent Nightingale losing his partner to the darkness. If you note, right before Agent Nightingale is taken at the end of Chapter 5, or the beginning of Chapter 5, I should say, it sounds like he's trying to say, I want my partner back, but he cuts himself off. He doesn't say it. So my assumption is that partner loss is canonical to the story, even though it's not directly said in the game. It is specifically said in the Alan Wake Files. The Alan Wake Files, Clay Stewart does confirm 3 things about this. He does confirm that Nightingale lost a partner. He does confirm that Nightingale was not acting on orders by anybody. None of his. Hey, Revan, you missed a couple minutes. We were just saying some behind-the-scenes information about Nightingale. About Nightingale. We were speculating about Nightingale. We found Nightingale's room. Oh, I forgot. I could run this guy over. This car, I don't like this car. It kind of drives like a boat. And now it's down. Doesn't matter. Yeah, we were just speculating about Agent Nightingale. Quick question. Have you read the Alan Wake Files, out of curiosity? The Alan Wake Files are behind the scenes, the extra, sorry, not behind the scenes, but it was the, one of the extra bonus goodies in the Alan Wake Xbox 360 Collector's Edition. Have you read that book? I'm also certain that anybody that might have picked up the game, I'm not 100% certain, but I'm pretty certain that a PDF version of it. No, you've not read that book. Okay. I'm also pretty certain that a PDF version of the Alan Wake Files was included in the Humble Bundle version. Again, this is no longer available, and I don't think anybody that bought the Humble Bundle version, I don't think it's even still downloadable. In that, I'm not. Don't quote me on this. I'm pretty certain that if you had the Humble Bundle version, I think it might have been included in the Humble Bundle version, but I'm not 100% certain. Okay, this car, I want to take this car. This car drives, it's in a little bit bad shape, but it drives a heck of a lot better than the other car did. So I'm going to take this. But basically, I found where, basically, the reason why the Alan Wake Files book, at least it is considered in-universe. It's written as if it's in-universe. It was written. No, this isn't good. Well, that's good. I can take that. Sorry, I'm kind of rambling right now over the same stuff, but I can't drive this car. Can I drive this one? No, this one's been crashed. I think there's one coming up. That's not good. Okay, is there anything else over here that I have to fight? I don't see anything too crazy. And right after saying that... if they fall to their death, objects don't respawn. So, and of course, your GOG version had the soundtrack, the war video clip from the Poets. Oh, I didn't know about that. Wallpaper, videos from Night Springs. They also had the live action videos from Alan. Okay, that I didn't know about. May have to look into the GOG version. I think in the Humble Bundle version, basically what happens is that those Alan Wake video clips, there are a couple of Alan Wake video clips included, but I think those are slightly higher resolution versions of, like, got it? Bridge sucks. Although, a little bit of comment, I think this is a trust bridge. Trust bridges are actually kind of cool. No, I don't think it's a truss bridge because you got that big X in the middle. And on top of that, truss bridges only allow for one failure point. And as you can see up here, there are plenty of failure points. So, if this was a truss bridge, this bridge would not still be standing. Okay, moving. And once again, I fall. I'm sorry about this, Revan. It's the platforming. It's just, like I said, the floor kind of comes out from under me without warning. Unless you have your footing memorized, you're gonna fall. Okay. So the speculation is that you're probably saying, okay, so Agent Nightingale lost his partner. Who cares? Why would he?
What the hell?
Why would he go after Alan, or what did Alan ever do to him? And the answer is nothing. Alan did nothing to Agent Nightingale. Alan doesn't know Agent Nightingale. He doesn't know what he could have done. Clay Stewart, however, had his own speculation. His speculation was that based upon the notes that he had found, he thought that maybe Agent Nightingale might have been having dreams from Alan, or dreams with Alan in them. Just like how Clay Stewart had been having dreams with Alan in them. Now, anybody who's seen the Alan Wake 2 promo, which, by the way, is not an actual trailer, it was a pitch video, and a very well-made pitch video at that. You will notice that there's a man at the very beginning of the promo basically doing an interview with a video camera with his own speculation on things. That's Clay Stewart. That's supposed to be Clay Stewart. So it's clear that even though we only see Clay Stewart for a couple of seconds in this game, in a dream of all places, I think that Remedy has a lot more in mind to play Stewart as a character in the future for a future sequel that may or may not ever come. I mean, hopefully it will come. I really want to play Alan Wake 2. So, here's to that. Unfortunately, as far as we know, Alan Wake 2 is not in development. Oh, I thought I dodged that. It wasn't fast enough. Okay, moving on. Hopefully the floor won't come out from under me again. That's not good. I'm trying to move. I can't move. Got it.
Nice to see you, too.
Okay, I'm being told by Revan we are about to get Shenmue 3, a game which the world believed would never come out, so we may end up getting Alan Wake 2. Yeah, actually, yeah, I could buy that. I know that Remedy still wants to make Alan Wake 2. I don't have any insider information, unfortunately, about this, even though I am a moderator on the official Alan Wake forums. Or I should say official Remedy. But there is a comment or two that I do want to make, at least for my own personal speculation. While we know for a fact that Remedy is currently working on 2 projects. One project which we know, I believe, is called Crossfire 2, that they're working on. There is another project that they're working on called P7. There's a lot of speculation that P7 may in fact be Alan Wake 2 or Quantum Break 2. From what I've been told from other things and from press media, again, I have no internal knowledge of this, so this is just my speculation based upon a couple of official things that I think have been regurgitated in the media. I am 90 to 100% certain that neither one of those is Alan Wake 2 or Quantum Break 2. I think it is in fact a entirely new project again. That having been said, I have heard musings, again, not direct musings, rumors, if you will, which have not been completely substantiated, but again, in the same ways that I've been hearing rumors based upon, you know, things that have been picked up in the media and then kind of regurgitated through. Particularly that they may bring like until an Alan Wake game comes out or a second Alan Wake game comes out. We may get like a Alan Wake in another medium, like an Alan Wake graphic novel or an Alan Wake comic or something like that. That's just like one possibility that I've heard. Again, that's not from any insider information. That's from I think there were a couple of major media organizations speculating based on stuff that they had heard. So, kind of exciting stuff, really. I mean, when I did my Let's Play of Quantum Break, I kind of thought maybe, like I said, I don't think that, right, like I said, that we know for a fact that P7 is not Alan Wake 2. That's been pretty much confirmed. I don't think there's been the same kind of confirmation that it's not Quantum Break 2, but from what I've been told by a couple of media outlets, like, I'm kind of behind on that sort of thing. I had no idea how far behind on certain outlets. I guess because I've been streaming so much recently and doing my preparations for other things. I guess I missed out on a couple of things. And one of the things I missed out on apparently was that the director of the Justice League movies is not directing Justice League anymore. Yeah, I know. I was surprised about that too. Apparently, the director of Justice League, he had a family tragedy, which I will not go into, and he stepped down. And he's been replaced by the director of the Avengers. The director of the Avengers is going to finish up the direction of basically directing duties for Justice League. I did not know this until after, yeah, that's correct. Whedon will be directing at least doing the final finishing direction for the Justice League movie. They hired him. It's confirmed. I didn't know about this until about a day after it was announced, and I was just like, really? I couldn't believe it. Like, I could not believe it because I didn't hear about it firsthand. I heard about it like not second or third hand, like a day or two afterwards. And usually that kind of news gets a bit more. Like, that kind of news, that's big news. I kind of felt like that was going to get a bit more, disseminated a bit more than it actually was. I've heard more people pick up the fact that the guy who's directing Justice League, or was going to direct Justice League Dark, is not directing Justice League Dark anymore. I mean, I know that a lot of people have been just commenting for at least a while now that Warner Brothers just cannot keep directors. Now, I totally understand the director of Justice League stepping down. He had a family tragedy. Again, I won't say what it is because it's not my business. It's not anybody's business. I think that there's just been so many. Well, Reverend, you are certainly, like I said, that speculation could be just as valid as basically any speculation. I mean, basically, Revan is speculating that the possibility could be that DC is constantly shifting directors because, at least not for Justice League, I'm not talking about Justice League, but for future projects, basically. Like The Flash, for example, has gone through at least 2 directors by my count. Probably as long as 3. I'm gonna get out of this car because it moves like it just moves. This car moves terribly. So if I can drive this thing, I'd be much more happier driving this. Basically, Revit is speculating that apologies for that. I had a burp. But basically, Revit's speculating that because of the critical problems with the Batman vs. Superman movie and the possibility exists that Warner Brothers management is doing a lot to to basically shift gears, if you will. Even Ben Affleck, from what I've been told, there is different speculation as to why Ben Affleck could have dropped out for directing duties for Batman, even though it's probable he will appear as Batman in a future Batman movie. It's difficult to be the star. Let's be honest. It's difficult to be the star and direct of something. It really is. It is difficult to be the headlining star and direct a picture and have it. I mean, it's not impossible, but there is a concern about quality loss. Like, you can do both, but it takes a very good director to be able to do both and still have a quality product at the end. I mean, I was kind of neutral about Ben Affleck dropping out of the project. I think that I think that in that case, like, I know that Ben Affleck is a great director, and I know that he loves Batman. Let's be honest, he loves Batman. So I think that's why a lot of people were excited about it, because they felt that because of his love of Batman, he would do the project right. But I totally understand. I mean, God, these guys, they just keep coming out of nowhere and attacking me from behind. Where do these guys come from behind? I don't see them spawn. They just get, like, literally, they just get directly behind me to get, like, 3 free shots off. It's like, I don't remember that kind of thing happening in the game too often when I first played it. You can learn about nature and yourself. And here we go again. It's like when in this game, I mean, I love this game, but when you get hit, you can't do squat. Like you really can't. You can't hit. You can't drop an item. You just can't do anything when you're hit. And that's the problem, because when you're being hit, you need to be able to move. Manuscript. I mean, don't get me wrong. I have heard speculation about the new Batman movie. And this is, of course, all... Like, apparently Warner Brothers looked really closely at how well the Arkham Asylum games did. And they kind of felt like, well, maybe that's a good idea to do. Like, maybe we'll do an adaptation of, like, Arkham Asylum. Which, by the way, I think would be pretty awesome. At least based on their spin on it. It wouldn't be a straight adaptation, but it would be in the same... It would be in like the same vein as Arkham Asylum. Like the game, like the movie would take place in Arkham Asylum, which is where you have a lot of those, you know, so you could have a lot of the Batman Rogue Gallery in one picture, even if it was just a couple of cameos or some cameos for some of the lesser known characters. I mean, it worked in the game. I think it could work there, but who knows? Okay, there is something back here. We're going to check it out. Yep, here it is. This might be the last cache in the game. I'm not 100% certain, but this might be the last. Oh, and once again, from behind. I'll give you a nice bright flare. So, were there graphic novels included in the GOG version? The Humble Bundle version had at least 2 graphic novels included. They were shorts, like they were short files. A couple of videos of like the the Night Spring stuff. Nothing too major. Okay, maybe there's some supplies in here. That would be nice. Got him. Okay, so you got the good old games version around the time it launched for the PC, so you're thinking maybe a later version might have had more content to it. That's possible, but usually good old games is very good about it. If they later release some content for a game, they're usually good about giving it to anybody that already purchased the game. I got a flare gun. Don't know if I'm going to need it just yet, but we'll just hold on to it for right now. So yeah, these maps, by the way, that you're looking at for Bright Falls, a lot of these maps are actually accurate, or would have been more accurate, let me rephrase this, if there was an open world game. So when these maps, I mean, I know we like to make fun of these maps or things like that, because the truth is that even though you see these maps, because the game is linear, they don't have 100% point to them. But had the game been open world, that map would have been completely just essential. Alright, let's go. Gotta get to the lake. Gotta get to the lake. Oh, this part. Oh, this part. Alright, let's do this. Demolition Derby fans may want to look away. Or get closer to the TV. Okay. Oh boy, that one startled me. That startled me. Here we go, guys. It's a demolition derby. That's one. Dust. I think that's everybody. Alright, let's do this. Don't see anybody. All right, we got through. Not too bad, mostly intact. See a beacon up there. It's a lot more fun to go through this game without trying to get every coffee thermos and stuff like that, because I'd have to constantly be stopping and looking for stuff. But even I have to admit that it still is kind of fun to look. It still was kind of fun to look for those things. It really made you appreciate the scenery and stuff.
When I told Barry my plan back in the well-lit room, I'd acted as if I knew what I was doing. I didn't. I was operating on the shifting logic of a dream. I had to fight my way to the lake through the horrors of the night. I had to flick an old battered light switch imbued with childhood magic. I had to write a happy ending to a horror story. I had to save my wife from the dark prison she was being held in.
The bridge is out. What? The bridge is out. What? Look. Oh my God, the bridge is out. All right, going through. I do actually kind of like the ghost town aspects of this. I don't think I've ever actually been in a real life ghost town, but this is kind of cool. All right, we're doing good so far, guys. Is there anything useful over here? Yes. Yes, there are. Okay. We've got some power. We've got some lights here. Got some supplies. So yeah,
I will never give her to you.
Oh boy. Like she's got it. let's see if these lights work. Go down! Alright, he's down now. I think I'm okay. Might be some supplies in here. Yeah, I do want that hunting rifle. Kind of want to pick these guys off from a distance. Okay, nothing too crazy in here. By the way, though, all this talk and speculation about Justice League, Superman, Batman, it's all kind of moot. This is the reason why I think it's kind of moot, is because Warner Brothers for years had actually access to a script that they owned and they could have used. That would have been great. It was a perfect Superman script. It was written by a guy who knew exactly what he was doing. The problem was that they had the wrong person producing it and they had the wrong director. The script itself was great. It was based on a great comic book story. It would have been an adaptation of Superman, the death of Superman. Let's see if I can grab that light. That's not good. Got him. That everybody? I think that's everybody. All right, let's get out of here. Headed for the lake. Okay, just a manuscript page in here. I thought I'd be a way out, but I guess not. No, there's supposed to be a way out. At least according to the compass, there is. Oh, over here. Come on, gravity, do your job. There we go. Much better. Alright, any goodies back here? Don't see anything. Right now I'm looking for supplies. I got some good supplies right now, but I'm low on special weapons.
I could see Mirror Peak in the distance. That's where Cauldron Lake was.
Well, let's see if I can get there quickly. That's a flare gun ammo. I might need that. What do you say we just sit back, relax, and enjoy this ride where absolutely nothing could possibly go wrong from this rickety old thing that's probably over 60 years old. Oh boy. Bird. I do like the fact that the alright, let's do this. And it's good I jumped when I did. And watch the birds attack us. Yes, Revan. Okay, where are we now? No shotguns. No rifle ammo. Could really use some of that right now. More birds? More birds! Can I push this cart? I guess so. Come on, we're pushing the cart. I guess that wasn't too helpful, but kind of hoping it would be more helpful, but we'll see. Okay, here we go. Here's something. Alright, we got some supplies now. Perfect. Okay, yeah. By the way, this platforming is fixed in Quantum Break, and I'm so grateful that it was. I guess I'm gonna have to go back up here. Alright, let's do this. You know, I remember when I did my my very first So What Happened, or my second So What Happened, where I did a So What Happened about what happened with Alan Wake, or oh, I guess that did it. And the #1 comment I got from that video was that I looked like Alan Wake, or that at least in the video I did. Like, everyone tells me I look like Alan Wake. Do I still look like Alan Wake? I don't know. I mean, I didn't see the resemblance. That's just me, but, you know, I'll take it. I've told people they look like Nathan Drake. There's one of the guys who work at GameStop, and he's a young guy. He's probably in his 20s or something. He looks like a young version of Nathan Drake, not the kid version of Nathan Drake, like the Nathan Drake from the first Uncharted game. Not Nathan Drake from 4th Uncharted game, because Nathan Drake in 4th Uncharted game is like 40, 50 years old or so. And I told him that he was the guy who took my pre-order for Uncharted, so I got a kick out of that, actually. I'm usually very... I should have done a video of me doing that, or at least doing that pre-order, because the guy really did look a lot like Alan Wake. But I'm actually usually very self-conscious about having people that I don't know in my videos. There's a couple, you know, I mean, obviously if I ask, you know, if there's somebody, if it's like easy, just, oh, I'll ask permission, and they say yes, then that's different. But, I usually don't like having people I don't know in videos, because I'm always worried they might come back and say, well, I didn't really give you permission, or I didn't sign my likeness away, or something along those lines. And I guess that's because I grew up in a different generation, or at least I feel like I did. Probably I didn't. Where, or maybe I just know a lot of people that don't like appearing in pictures. Like my friend, the unknown camera person, who I have to refer to as the unknown camera person, does not want any record of them to exist whatsoever, which is weird because they take pictures of things, but they don't want to ever be in any pictures ever. And I know plenty of other family members who don't want to be in pictures, and then they get weird. It's like, why am I not in any of these pictures? Because you told the person to go shove it when they tried to take a picture of you. So it's kind of a mixed bag, but maybe it's because I've dealt with people that are so much like that, so staunch in that I usually get conscious when I found out that more likelihood, you know, especially younger people, they want to be in pictures. Here, take all the pictures you want of me. I guess it's because they assume they want to be on Facebook, or they want to do this, or they want notoriety. They want people to know that they existed, which is fine. Apparently, Revan is telling me that Revan has been told by many people that he looks like Harry Potter. I wouldn't take that. You know, honestly, I've been told I look like Harry Potter, but not Harry Potter in the fact that I've been told that, at least for one portion, I was told I look like Daniel Radcliffe. No, I was not told I look like Daniel Radcliffe. I was told I look like the actor that plays the guy from Twilight, the main actor from Twilight. I can't remember the actor's name off the top of my head. But I have been told that I looked a bit like him, but not the Twilight guy so much as the actor that plays the guy from Twilight, whose name escapes me off the top of my head. Robert Patterson or something. They didn't mean it as a negative, and so I didn't take it as a negative. If they meant it as a negative, I probably could have taken it that way, but they meant it as a compliment. As for the Alan Wake appearance, I truly believe that was meant as a compliment. And so I've taken it as such. It took me a while to realize that, but because sarcasm is not really something that you can appear online, and by default I usually do infer comments online as sarcastic, unless I'm being told, no, I'm not being sarcastic, or I'm being serious or something. But I accept it. It's fine. I'll take it. If it gets me more views on that video, I'm fine with it, because I worked really hard on that video. And if people liked it, and that's one of the reasons why they liked it, I'll take it. Did I get him? Right now, though, bud. That was convenient. Okay, I got some more supplies now. Okay, let's see if we can get through this without hurting ourselves too bad. Okay, I've got no flares. Okay, I do have flares. Oh boy. Boat. That's not good. I have to drop another flashbang, because I will if I have to. Oh! God, that guy sucks. it. I'm just going to drop some flares for right now. Getting close. That's it. I'm just going to use this flare gun against them. That's one I got. Got him. That's the second one. There's only two in this area, as far as I can remember, so we'll just keep going. One of the radio towers. No, that's a crane. And there's another one. Got it. Okay. The way I say it, these guys make a lot of money. I mean, the actors, I mean. Although I've been told that the guy who plays Harry Potter is actually in real life a really nice guy and a very good actor. He's got some good experience, so, you know, bless him for it. That's great. But, so I'll take it as a compliment if people told me I look like Daniel Radcliffe or... What's... Oh, crap. Now it's angry. That's just angry. That's mean. You don't throw... Oh, boy. You don't throw cars at people. Not. You don't throw boats at people either. That's not nice. Alright, we're up. Getting there closer, guys. We're almost there. Looks like Cynthia was here. The darkness wears her face. Yeah, Cynthia was here. So I guess I was totally wrong about where the last cache is of supplies. I speculated that it was at the beginning of the chapter, when in fact, no, there's still plenty of these, so... Alright, let's move on. Oops, I got stuck. I didn't clip through the geometry, but I fell into a bad spot, so... I'll just fix that, and we'll move on. So, Revan, since we're here anyway, what are your final thoughts? What are your thoughts on the game itself? I don't know. I guess we're coming towards the end of the game, so I guess people are free to speculate on how they feel about the game, or did I go out the wrong door? Yeah, I guess I did. This looks like there's going to be a firefight. Pretty big one, too.
I needed to get the generator running.
Great! Well, judging by all these sparking cables, there's probably a generator here somewhere. I think there was a coffee thermos on this side over here, but don't quote me on that one. Maybe it's in here? No, nothing here. Where are you, little generator? We will find you. We will find... Oh, here it is. It's a big one, too. Oh, this is convenient. All right, I'm not messing around this time. One of them. A bit of dilemma. On one side you want it more, and on the other side you want it less. Because oh, that just took him out. Cool. Since the fights tended to get repetitive, you said you wanted more story and less game. Yeah, that makes sense. And then maybe, like I said, maybe if they do release the game as like, or a further story for the game as like a graphic novel or something, maybe that might work better for you. Alright, we're going down. I think we got everything. I mean, I kind of like the mad rush. This is the last chapter. I totally get having a mad rush with things. And let's be honest, this is a mad rush. This is not, you know, this is a mad rush to the end game. Let's be honest. There is no, I mean, the real only storyline portion of this section is completely optional, really. At least for this section of gameplay. The second half, the last half, or the final portion of it, that's different. But the only story I remember from this slog is the is basically finding Nightingale's room. That's it. There's nothing else. And the game really doesn't say anything about it other than, okay, this is Nightingale's room. It's only in the expanded universe to find out. I'm kind of excited to say Alan Wake Expanded Universe. Why you save your flares, guys. Whenever the game allows you to use them, that is. This thing is tough. That's all of it.
Do as you're told.
No, I'm not going to do what I'm told. And I'm not going to eat my vegetables either. And there's a tornado, guys. This is the epic tornado. Oh yeah. If you look really closely at this is one little Easter egg for you guys. You can see Barbara Jagger in the middle of it. You can see that she's the one controlling this. Do this. This is how you fight a tornado. With flares. Lots and lots and lots of flares. Being told to get closer.
You will fail. It's over.
Yeah, there she is. Birds.
You're making this up.
Got it.
Hell!
Shh, baby. You were having a bad dream. It was just another nightmare.
No,
Everything's fine. You're home.
it wasn't a dream.
Everything's fine.
Turn the lights on. Turn the lights on!
Shh, baby. The power's out. There's no light. Come back to bed and I'll make you forget all about your fear of the dark.
My fear? It's your fear. Why aren't you afraid? You're not Alice. Turn the lights on now. Where's the clicker? What did you do with it?
Alan, honey, you're still 1 foot in a dream. You're not making any sense. Come back to bed.
Not the worst nightmare ever, I gotta admit this. Okay, it's dark outside, but he's with this. It's not, like I said, other than the fact that it's not real, it's not the world's worst dream, let me tell you. The clicker's not here.
You're scaring me now. Come back to bed. Have you taken your pills? Do you want me to call Dr. Hartman?
Oh boy.
I read your manuscript. It's brilliant. Departure is your best work yet. You're a genius. I'm so proud of you. Come back to bed. We'll talk more about it in the morning.
And you get a Eureka stroke, so this is not that worse. I mean, I've seen worse nightmares. Most of my nightmares, I'm usually fighting monsters. And by the way, I don't run from monsters in my dreams. I don't know what that says about me as a person, but if I see a monster in a dream of mine, let me be honest, I'm usually not aware it's a dream. But usually I'll be fighting monsters in my dreams, demons, monsters, you name it. I always stand my ground and I always fight. And I never die, at least I don't remember dying or at least sustaining fatal injuries. Occasionally I might get hit or scratched or something by a monster I fight, but you know, it's usually, from what I've seen from a psychological perspective, when I have dreams where I'm fighting monsters, what happens to me is really unusual. I've been told basically that most people, they run, They run until they can't run anymore, until they're exhausted, and then they end up dying, which is essentially the plot of every horror movie ever. If you named a horror movie where a person stood their ground against the monster, they more than likely would survive. And yes, I can think of one movie that I absolutely hated, which had that. That was, Wax, House of Wax, that's it, yeah. House of Wax was like that. Got the clicker. Zane, where have you been?
You must find your way to the cabin. It stands in your way. It won't let you pass. It has no heart. It's filled with darkness. You must fill its heart with light.
Ground control to Major Tom. Do you read me, Major Tom?
Don't mind him. He's Mr. Scott. Your friends will meet him when you're gone.
And that is the setup for Alan Wake's American Nightmare. Revan's telling me he usually, if he runs, he can't get far at all because it seems like you can't run at all. Then you fight, when my punches are weak, and the dream is over. Well, I'm not going to disparage you for your dreams, obviously, nor am I the kind of person that be psychoanalyzing people. Nor have my dreams ever been psychoanalyzed, at least not by a professional, or somebody, not even somebody claiming to be a professional. This section right here is kind of exciting to think about, like how much different this is than the rest of the game. I know that there are a lot of people that wish they could have spent more time kind of in an environment like this where they get to screw around with the environment and make things real by light. If you like this so much, my recommendation is play the Alan Wake DLC, which we'll be talking about a bit after we finish the game. After we finish the main game, we'll talk a little bit about the DLC. Let's see, does this work? Any of this stuff work? I guess not. Yeah, I have that problem too. My dreams can be weird and vivid too.
I met someone. I'm in love with someone else.
Is it Barry?
No, what do you say? You can't.
You don't love me. How could you when you don't even love yourself? All you do is torture yourself with work you can't do anymore.
No, I love you more than anything in the world. You're my muse.
I'm not.
Who are you? What have you done with my Alice?
Alan? What are you doing? Put the light back on! What are you doing, Alan? Stop! Put the light back on!
It wasn't true. Nothing like that had ever happened.
The darkness is lying to me now.
Tom, let me go. I promise to be good. Please, untie me, you naughty boy. I will help you with your masterpiece. I will love you forever.
No, you're not Barbara Jagger. I made a terrible mistake. I should have never written you back. You came back wrong. Your heart is filled with darkness.
Put that knife away, Thomas! Put it down!
My heart is filled with darkness. I'll cut it out.
Ah!
Take you back to the depths you came from.
Boy, it's a good thing that Tom was right about that.
Filled with darkness.
Zane doesn't have Alan's voice. That's James McCafferty. That sounds like James McCafferty. I'm pretty sure that might be James McCafferty trying to do an impression of the actor doing it, but that to me sounded like James McCafferty. Or it's possible that the dark place or the dark presence is distorting the voices. But that is clearly Zane's memory. That is not Alan's memory.
Get away from me, you hag! Where am I? Let me go!
Alice, I'm coming.
Your husband refused to do as he was told. All he had to do was write what I wanted him to write. Now it's too late. It's his fault. You'll stay here forever.
All right, let's do this, guys.
Now you will never get her back.
I am much older than you. Older than your first work of art. I will find a new face to wear. Someone else to dream me free.
Bye-bye, girl. And that's important to say that it said it wanted to get a new face. It probably wanted Alice's face. And if Alan had made a mistake in his story, the darkness could have taken over her face, could have taken her appearance.
I could feel Alice's presence close by. I understood what I had to do now. I knew how to write the ending to Departure. There's light and there's darkness. Cause and effect. There's guilt and there's atonement. But the scales always need to balance. Everything has a price. That's where Zane had gone wrong. There's a long journey through the night back into the light. Alice? Alice? Oh no!
I think this is supposed to represent the time that's passing as he's writing the ending. I'm being told by Revan, you have to give something in order to get something. The understanding of how darkness in the lake works. You're saying about balance. I don't think, for me personally, I think it was more along the lines of he couldn't free himself and make the story work. Basically, there had to be a sacrifice in order for the story to function properly. He could get her out, but at the cost of himself. Because he couldn't get both of them out to have it. There was just no logic in the story to basically get both of them out at the same time. But there was enough to get her out. So he sacrificed himself to free her. And this is really happening. We can see that she made it out. She pops right out. And Alice is okay. A little bit worse for wear, but
Alan?
she will make it.
Alan?
And that's not a dream, that's not an exaggeration, that's really Alice free. Now we're coming up, I guess it's time for Deer Fest, big celebration, do you think, guys? So let's see if we can find any cameos going on in this for the big celebration, shall we? It's time for Deer Fest. Party! Game's finished, we made it. We saved her. And now let's celebrate. Oh yeah, party time. Deer, 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 deer. I have to admit, I've only had venison once in my life. Maybe twice. Probably should have it more. I've been told it's good stuff. There's the Doc and there's Pat Maine. They're good friends. Yeah, no, these are good friends, guys. There's one of the sheriff's deputies. Oh, and she's a fan of Randolph's. Yeah, the brothers. They're there partying it up. Nice. Take a look behind her. There's Rose holding the lantern, but look behind her really quick. Did the darkness take Nightingale's face? That's how I took it. It was a passing of the torch, as you will.
It's an ocean.
Alan, wake up.
And that is Alan Wake, at least the non-DLC missions of Alan Wake. Now, really quick, I just want to mention what Revan just says. He says he saw the night and day switches as Alan turning back time, since some of the people are alive from the town. That's what you thought when you ended the game. It's possible time could have been turned back. I mean, that's possible. I kind of target it as like time flashing forward, essentially. But like I said, if you remember correctly, this is my speculation. I'm not trying to remember correctly or not. But as I remember correctly, the night of Deerfest, or the night before Deerfest, was Chapter 5. And then Alan goes into the darkness, basically insinuating that maybe time and space is being played with right now, whether it's the effect of the clicker, the effect of story. But I could easily imagine, at least in real time from having played the Chapter 6, that a day could have passed. That a day could have passed in that aspect. But it's weird. Okay, I just want to say I kind of want to talk over this song. I'm really sorry about this, but I want to talk over for copyright reasons. Not for now, but for later on. I love this song. What you're listening to right now is Space Oddity by David Bowie, written by David Bowie. Rest in peace, David Bowie. We love you. I freaking love this song. I love it beyond words. I love it so much. And I could not think of a better song to end this particular game than this song, for 3 reasons. One, you've got a story about a guy named Tom who looks like he floats around as if he's in space, basically. Almost as if he's a space oddity. Yeah, you see what I did there? No, I'm probably not doing much of a stretch. This is not the first kind of game that I've seen that makes shades of Space Oddity or invokes shades of Space Oddity. Probably the more recent one, at least when the time this game came out. There's probably even older ones, but the one I could think of would be Metal Gear Solid 3, Snake Eater. Can you read me, Major Tom? This is Major Tom, that sort of thing. Call me Major Tom. Do you read me, Major Tom? Snake and Zero. They're a little banter, if you will. And that was kind of exciting. So yeah, Alan Wake's there's Sam Lake's credit right there. That's really sweet. I just don't know. I mean, final thoughts on this game. It totally deserves the following that it has. In fact, I wish this game had done better financially, because that could have guaranteed the chance that there would be more people playing it, There could have been a better chance of a sequel, I think, if more people had bought it when it first came out. The problem that I think at least, was that the game kind of went a little bit under the radar. Even though Microsoft was publishing it, they were also doing promotion for it. There were, as far as I know, I can't remember any TV spots for it. I can remember some posters and some billboards that hung up in major cities, but that was about it. Those were limited. If you're putting up a poster or a billboard or something, the only people that are going to see it are the people that live there, or the people that are going to go past that building. There was some online promotion for it on websites and things like that, but the other problem is that this game came out the same day that Red Dead Redemption came out, which had a major. Yeah, the game may launch some triple. Yeah, it was Red Dead Redemption, which was a multi-platform title for the PlayStation 3 and the Xbox 360. Probably the PC. Don't quote me on that one, but it was at least out for the 2 major consoles, or 2 of the major consoles. And that was the same. That's how I ended up getting Alan Wake. That's how I ended up getting Alan Wake on the 360, actually. At midnight, was because the store that I pre-ordered from was so completely swamped with pre-orders for Red Dead Redemption that they were like, well, the Red Dead Redemption pre-orders alone merit a midnight release. And since we're not bound, like basically essentially saying, they don't have even if they're going to do a midnight release for some specific game, if there's another game coming out that same day, whether or not they're doing the midnight release for it, also, they will sell it to you after the midnight release. They will. They have no problem with that. Yeah. Red Dead Redemption had such a big release, and Red Dead Redemption had such a big release. It had such press behind it. There were TV spots. It also was a good game. I mean, let's be honest. It also was a good game. It was a critical darling. But the thing is that it didn't have... Alan Wake didn't have the same media push behind it. If it had been released when there was no other game coming out and Microsoft had done a better job promoting it at the time that it came out, then I think that Alan Wake could have done better. I have to applaud Remedy for at least a couple of things, particularly. There have been musings ever since Remedy was coming towards the end of Quantum Break's development, probably around 10 months until Quantum Break came out, when the game was starting its polish phases and things like that, that they were trying their best to bring Alan Wake 2 back. They released through Polygon.com, if I remember correctly, an Alan Wake 2 video pitch that they had originally shown to Microsoft and a couple of the other publishers. That got a lot of press. It got a lot of positive experience. Unfortunately, that didn't make for an and also they released download codes for Alan Wake and Alan Wake's American Nightmare to anybody that picked up and pre-ordered Quantum Break on the Xbox One. And Microsoft was good enough to port Alan Wake, the original Alan Wake, and Alan Wake's American Nightmare to the Xbox One, so that people who have an Xbox One, if they had an Alan Wake download code that they would have gotten in their copy of Quantum Break, they could play the game. Now, for anybody who didn't, I just want you to know that code, I've tested that code on both the Xbox One. Let me rephrase this. I've seen, if anybody picked up Alan Wake anyone who first played Alan Wake based upon picking up Quantum Break and getting a download code and using it, those codes did work on both the Xbox, or they could have been redeemed on the Xbox 360 or the Xbox One. And yes, there is some cross, if you had your same, they only could work on one Xbox Live profile, of course, but let's say, for example, you didn't have an Xbox One or you didn't want to redeem it on your Xbox One, you didn't have to. And that was, I thought, really nice. The codes did work, and you could redeem them to play the game on the Xbox 360, which at the time when the game came out for backwards compatibility, it ran better on the Xbox 360, let's be honest. Part of the reason why I waited so long to do this stream was because I was waiting for a good version of this game to come out on the Xbox One for a good, with good performance. Alan Wake's American Nightmare, when I did my stream of that game on the Xbox One, ran terribly. It was just, the performance was absolutely horrible. So I'm rambling now, and I'm really sorry about that. But let's make a couple of speculations, like I said, before we talk about the DLC. I know that there are a lot of people that have been talking recently about DLC done wrong. A lot of games will have day one DLC for major titles, and people say they shouldn't. Alan Wake, when it was first released, technically had day one DLC, but not really. When Alan Wake came out, we knew that there was going to be at least 2 DLC episodes, essentially expansion packs. They were not ready when the game came out. They needed some time to come out. But anybody that picked up a new copy of Alan Wake on the Xbox 360 got a download code guaranteed for the first DLC episode. It was theirs if they wanted it. And all they'd have to do is wait for the game to come out or wait for the DLC to come out. Then they could redeem the code and the code would work. And it did. That, my friends, is how you do day one DLC. This is how that, and publishers pay attention. That is how you reward customers for buying your game new. I don't mind you release DLC for games. We've had, we call them expansion packs, call them whatever you want. But Alan Wake, I think, is an example, and not too. I can't think of too many examples of DLC done right. I can't, at least for day one DLC. And I mean, this was at the time when they were doing season passes. And by season passes, I don't mean season pass. I mean passes just so you could actually use multiplayer. Publishers like crazy at the time. I remember EA was doing it. I remember Sony was doing it. Unless you bought a game new, you could not play multiplayer on your game until you paid like an extra $10. They locked it out as DLC, basically punishing people who bought the game used or bought the game as time when the DLC codes could have expired, essentially punishing the chances of basically anybody picking it up other than a pre-order. And I'm sure that for a lot of these games, sales just dropped right after day one, and rightfully so. And multiplayer, I know that a lot of these games, especially on EA's case, even after they overturn those ideas or those policies, a lot of those games had multiplayer communities or multiplayer population counts that were just in the toilet because nobody wanted to pay the $10 extra if they didn't have to. And in some cases, people didn't understand to redeem the DLC codes before they started playing. So I think that Remedy at that time was like, we're going to have DLC in the future. We'll have 2 DLC missions. It's going to be they're going to be in the level of expansion packs. You'll have more story. And you're going to get, if you buy the game new, whether you get the collector's edition or the regular edition, you will get a download code guaranteed for at least the first part, for the first half of that. That's how you do it. That's exactly how you do it. And what we're probably going to be doing right now, my plan is for DLC. I will be looking at the game's DLC. I will be looking at Alan Wake's DLC, and I'm going to be speculating. I know that you and I talked about this, Revan, in the last chapter. You were thinking about, well, is Alan really the writer here, or is Zane the writer here, based upon what the revelation was at the end of Chapter 5? I said I didn't want to answer that until we started talking about the DLC, and now that just means I really want to play the DLC now. However, I'm not going to have the opportunity to play the DLC for this week. I'll have to wait until at least next week. I've got a couple of videos. I've got more content coming to my YouTube channel for the rest of this week, but there's not going to be any more streams. I just don't have the time for the rest of this week to do any more game streams. So I figured I'll finish up the story for Alan Wake, which is what you're seeing right now. This is the ending. Game's over. Yeah, so that we can simply just have Alan Wake's, we can have the Alan Wake DLC or Uncharted 4 next week. A couple of other, like I said, I have a copy of Uncharted 4. If I do a stream of that, Revan, I'd love for you to come to be here for this, but I'm going to be streaming this. I'm going to be streaming this actually not on my Beam channel. I am going to be streaming this on my Twitch channel, which is twitch.tv/Maniac536. But if you subscribe to that Twitch channel, I don't know if you're a Twitch user or not. I hope you are. If not, you can sign up for free. You can subscribe to that, and I'd love to hear you commenting on my other streams, because basically what's happening right now is that I'm pretty much going to do all my Xbox 360 and Xbox streams through Beam for the time being, and I'm going to do all my PS4 streams through Twitch. I kind of like Twitch for a couple of reasons. They're a lot more. It runs a lot more stable on the PS4, so. Because it's part of the it's integrated part of the operating system, so it's easier. I can actually show my chat window, whereas I can't do that even for the Twitch version here. I really can't show my chat windows on the Xbox for my Xbox One or Xbox 360 games. But and the other thing is that it does allow for cloud sync for cloud editing and cloud syncing for videos, whereas I really can't do that too much here. I have to manually download my master files, and I can either edit them manually or compress them or upload them manually. I mean, both works, I guess, but it takes longer for me to archive videos on Beam than it does on Twitch, certainly. So, but yeah, I'd love to see you come in. I don't know if you're an Uncharted fan, but yeah, we will be picking up on Uncharted 4, and I'm actually going to up the difficulty. The reason why I kind of was decided to broadcast Uncharted 4 is because I already broadcast the first 2 hours back when the game first came out, and yeah, I guess a lot of people were, and I did. Then I later went on as I started streaming other games. I decided that I was going to stream all the first 3 Uncharted games for the PlayStation 3. I did broadcasts of all of those games. And now I kind of feel like I should be broadcasting the rest of Uncharted 4. The game's been out for over a year. Its expansion pack is coming in a couple of months. It's a good time to do Uncharted 4, I think, or finish up Uncharted 4. So that'll be exciting, but that will probably happen next week. And by the way, guys, you are looking at some of the reasons why this game is no longer for sale on digital marketplaces. As you can see here, this game has a very long list of licensed songs. Now, while I totally agree that a lot of these licensed songs are great licensed songs that fit the game very well, unfortunately, the rights issue there were rights issues left on some of them, and because of that, they have expired. And this is why when you do stuff like this, whether you're making a video game... Oh! The Sudden Stop, written by Alan Wake. Departure, written by Alan Wake. Anybody who's seen Alan Wake's Journey Through the Night will continue. Well, that would be for the DLC and for Alan Wake's American Nightmare, which I've already streamed. I've already played Alan Wake's American Nightmare, but we still have the DLC to go. So we will be talking about that next time. Revan, thank you so much for coming. I really appreciate you coming in to join us for this stream. But I'm going to have to get going. And I'm really excited for what the future has. We will be doing streams, whether I decide to do Uncharted 4 next, or whether I decide to do the Alan Wake DLC. I kind of want to do Uncharted 4 next. No, thank you. No, Revan, thank you for coming in. I really appreciate it. And just stay posted on my my Twitter feed at Maniac536. Join, you follow me on Twitter, and I will keep you posted on this. More videos are coming. I will have this archived on YouTube, which is probably where some of the people are going to be watching this. I actually have some dedicated people that are watching this on my YouTube channel. So thank you guys for watching this, whether it's on Twitch or Beam or YouTube. So I appreciate all of your comments and all your likes and subscribes and everything, basically. So yeah, stay tuned. A lot of stuff coming. Definitely a lot of stuff coming. And until next time, guys, this is Maniac with GameAccess.net. Take care, everybody. Over and out.